Hey guys, so last we left off, we successfully set up our Express project and we were able to run it successfully. So the next step is that we need to set up our React application. So our end goal is to have a working web application with a backend Express server and a React front-end application running together. So let's go ahead and navigate over to our browser. And here we're going to search up for Create React App. So what this is actually a script that will automatically generate and set up our React application for us, similar to what we did with our Express generator. The Create React App library will also similarly set up a bare bones React application for us. So we're going to go ahead and navigate over to the GitHub page here, and we're going to scroll all the way down until we reach this npx command here. So it's npx create React app, and then the name of your React project. So what I'm actually going to do here is navigate over to VS Code. I'm going to paste the npx create React app command. I'm going to call my React subproject client. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm actually going to set up a monorepo for this project where my test web application project contains my Express server code, and it also will contain my React project as a subproject underneath the test web application folder. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And this actually may take a few minutes because it's going to install the relevant dependencies, such as the Create React App library, and it actually may ask you for permission to install them. So once that's done, you can actually see that now we have a client folder underneath our test web application folder. And we can go ahead and open it and see that we have project contents. So let's go ahead and use this terminal window to navigate over to our client repo. And we're actually going to go ahead and run npm install. Now, the project was already installed as part of the Create React App setup process, but we're just going to run it again. And then finally, we're going to run npm start. Now, what it's actually doing is it's going to bundle up the React application resources into a single JavaScript file, and then it's going to use a development server to bring it up for us. So this may take a few minutes on the first time that this runs. All right, so as part of the build process, it's actually going to open up this new tab for us. And it's going to automatically navigate us to localhost 3000. So similar to before, localhost is our local machine, and 30,000 is the default port that our application gets hosted on. And as you can see, we actually have a working React application. So this little spinning animation here is part of the default React application that gets set up for us. All right, so now we have a successfully working Express server and a working React application. So how do we actually link the two together? So we can actually link the two applications using the following command here. So I've created this new npm command for us called pre-deploy, and I've made it do the following. So first it's going to cd into the client project, which is our React application project, and it's going to run npm run build, which will build the resources needed to run the application, and it's going to automatically bundle the JavaScript resources using Webpack. And what we're going to do here is actually going to run this xcopy command to copy over the contents of the build folder into the public folder of our Express server. So for you Mac and Linux users, you can just instead use a cp command to achieve the same thing. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to take the build contents and save them under this public folder for our React project. So let's go ahead and stop the React application. Let's cd back into our parent folder, and we're going to run npm run pre-deploy. And once that's done, you can see that our public folder now contains a bunch of static files coming from our React application, including the static JS and CSS bundles generated by Webpack. So now if we actually go ahead and do a npm start for our Express server, we can actually navigate back over to our web browser. We can go ahead and refresh this localhost 3000, and you'll see that we still get the React animation here, which indicates that our React application is being rendered on this page, despite the fact that we are actually running our Express server. So we've actually successfully linked up our two applications here. Our Express server is running with the React application being rendered. So what's actually happening behind the scenes here is that when I hit localhost 3000, it's actually hitting the root directory of our server. And if we navigate over to app.js, you can actually see here that by default, Express is exposing the public folder as static contents that can be accessed using the root directory. So when we actually hit localhost 3000, it's actually bringing up index.html. So this index.html file simply just has a root div element as well as references to our static CSS and JS files. So by hitting our root directory, it accesses index.html by default, which will actually bring up our React application using our static bundles that were built for us by our React app. And all of this is running on our Express server. So this is how we've been able to successfully have a running, simple web application using Express and React.